how's it going? How are you? Hope all of you enjoyed your Thanksgiving break, and I hope you enjoyed going out and shopping on Black Friday. I hope you found some good deals. I know I did. I had an awesome Thanksgiving on Black Friday, and I hope you guys did as well. I just wanted to come on here today, and I wanted to cover War Games, and I wanted to cover Survivor Series. And I wanted to let you guys know about some changes coming up, because next week I will be covering the newest episode of NXT, as well as, and here's where my intern here puts a drum roll, maybe another drum roll, maybe another drum roll. I will be covering from that week on, all episodes and pay-per-views of All Elite Wrestling. Yes, we went to Cracker Barrel. I could have sworn I seen Mr. Joey Janela out there, hammering some White Claws down his gullet, and I had a good time there at Cracker Barrel. Had a meeting with Mr. Cody Rhodes, and after that I went out and went to Hot Topic, and I bought myself a All Elite Jon Moxley shirt. So I guess I'm All Elite now, so I guess that means I gotta cover All Elite Wrestling. So that should be pretty cool. But I digest this Thanksgiving meal that's probably still in my digestion tract somewhere. Like I said, we're going to be covering some War Games and Survivor Series here, and some other interesting stuff. So bear with me here, and let's batten down the hatches, because first of all, I want to tell you guys about the event coming up this Saturday in Altoona, Pennsylvania at Eclipse Wrestling. Let me pull that up here. Let me see what we got here announced for Eclipse Wrestling here. Excuse me. Eclipse Wrestling Fight Before Christmas. I got their upcoming event here. I'm looking at it. Oh, going. On the poster here, ladies and gentlemen, we have Born to Wrestle, we have Joey P, we have Zach Rain, we have Max Morrison, we have Jamie Senegal, The Freak Show, Sahara 7, Jesus Club, Tyler Klein, Lestat, and more. We know that there's going to be a big title match, which will be Eclipse Wrestling Legacy Champion Max Morrison going up one-on-one with the Freak Show's own Man-Child. That's just one of the matches we have announced. Let me see here. With some awesome promo work from Mr. Freaky Doyle and the Freak Show, as well as, Mr. Max Morrison. Some great stuff going on the Facebook page, and for the fans that love to interact. I know there's a lot of them on there, and I just want to let you guys know that there's some very interesting promos being filmed between both Mr. Max Morrison and Freaky Doyle at this point in time. I thought it was a fun one. Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. December 7th, we will see Sahara 7 versus Candy Cartwright. And we will also see, like I said, Max Morrison. We'll see the Blue Chipper Jordan Evers in action. We will see Born to Wrestle versus Black Magic. We will see Klein and Klein versus Dishonors, Joey P and Lestat. See, do we have anything else announced? Of course, Zach Green, the Eclipse Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, will be in the building. Is Jamie Senegal versus Saint Sinclair. And that's all I'm seeing for right now. But like I said, Altoona, Pennsylvania, Eclipse Wrestling Fight Before Christmas at the Building 2 Athletic Club, 1000 Howard Ave, Pennsylvania. Doors open at 6:30. Bell time is at 7. You can get your tickets at phxshows.com. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a good one. We always have a great fun time up there at Eclipse Wrestling. So, let me go ahead and first of all, let me find my notes. I do not know where I put them. Dastardly notes. Dastardly? Did he say dastardly or bastardly? He just literally said both right now. But they pretty much are both bastardly and dastardly. I guess while I'm looking for this, I can go ahead and let you guys know that I did put the feet back on my CM Punk action figure. Of course, my nieces had made him feetless before. I had taken the feet off of an Undertaker action figure. So basically, now I need to find 4 sets of feet. If I can find somebody selling some broken figurines, I can go ahead and find some feet. I need some black booted feet so I can take care of my Bobby Lashley, and I can now fix my Undertaker. So I got like 2 figures that need black booted feet. I cannot believe I can't find my notes. Hold on, and bear with me, ladies and gentlemen, as I take a trip to find my notes. Aha! Guess what, my cretins? I found the notes. It looks like about everything I piled up is about ready to fall off and knock me over and hit me right upside the head and cause me to be concussed and go online and write some stupid stuff. Like the Ring Crew Warriors. Anyways, you digest. We got here, first on the docket, NXT War Games. We opened with the women's War Game match. We had Team Rhea Ripley, which was consisting of Rhea Ripley, Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, and Tegan Nox versus Kaylee Ray, Io Shirai, Bianca Belair, and Shayna Baszler. Now, Candice LeRae and Io Shirai started the match off for their respective teams. Some cool stuff, because I like to basically go through and tell you what I liked in the match. That's my shtick. If I didn't like it, I say I didn't like it. If I like it, I like it. It's basically your ups and downs. Oh, don't sue me, my friend. Don't sue me, Simon Miller. What Culture Wrestling? Maybe you get your ass kicked by Sami Callihan. Thumbs up your ass. Somebody probably should put a thumb up that guy's ass. Like an old dog that's fighting. That's a big dude, man. I wouldn't want to put my thumb up his ass. Either way. Yeah, I think I just lost whatever bit of audience I did have. So, anyway, in this match, Io hits 2 Tiger Feint kicks in an altercation with Io. Yeah, she hits 2 Tiger Feint kicks. The altercation was all Io Shirai here. Then Bianca Belair entered the match. It was Belair and Shirai versus LeRae, 2-on-1. Belair hit a nasty triple powerbomb on the third one. She just picked that woman up and threw her into the cage with all her power. That's a tough woman, a strong woman right there. And then Rhea Ripley had come out, so it was Rhea Ripley, Candice LeRae, Belair, and Shirai. Ripley, of course, brings a shitload of weapons into the ring, evening things up. And then things go back to favor Team Baszler, as we get Kaylee Ray in there, the NXT Women's Champion. I've really grown to like her too. She's quite a talent. Of course, she went under the ring and she was going to grab this table because the fans kept chanting, "We want tables," and she pulls the table out and then she shoves it back in there and denies the fans their request. I always thought that would be a pretty interesting little concept to do for a heel, like when the crowd starts chanting obscenely for tables, just like go and tease that you're going to bring a table out and then don't do it. I always thought that'd be pretty neat. Like, even at indie shows you can do that. Like, go grab a table, you know what I mean? Like, go grip the table up and act like you're going to drag it over to the ring. Nope. Not for you people. You don't deserve a table. I thought that was pretty cool. Rhea Ripley with a crazy Tower of Doom onto chairs. And then Bianca hit a 450 splash. Like onto the woman on table. And then Dakota Kai enters the tournament, but she turns her back on Tegan Nox, slams the shit out of her, beats her up in the cage, slams the cage door on her. The people pull her off of her, she gets right back on her and attacks the leg. Really doing a number on her. And then at that point, Shayna Baszler, it was her time to come out. Then we thought she was going to start attacking Tegan Nox, but she didn't. She goes down to the cage. It makes it a 4-on-2 match. Candice LeRae hits an avalanche poison Rana to Kaylee Ray. Io hits a moonsault off the top of the cage. You got Mamma Mia chants everywhere. You got "This is awesome" chants. Oh my gosh. And this was just the first match of the evening on War Games. Rhea Ripley breaks out of the Baszler's Karakota clutch, and then she uses handcuffs that were implemented earlier in the match to handcuff herself to Baszler, hit a riptide onto steel chairs, and pick up the win for her team as they took out the rest of the people one-on-one. Not one-on-one, but one by one. Gets the win for the Women's War Games for Team Rhea Ripley. Now, next up we have Damian Priest versus Killian Dane versus Pete Dunne in a triple threat match for a number one contendership for the NXT Championship that would have been defended the next night on Survivor Series. Dunne's title reign in the UK was compared to Hulkamania. I thought that was pretty interesting. That's high praise. Dane hit a Michinoku driver on Dunne on top of Priest's head. Dane had a fallaway slam, both guys at once. Dane and Priest kind of worked together a little bit, and then they kind of dissolved. But in my opinion, this is the way a triple threat match should go. This is the way it should be paced. Everybody looked like they had some shine. Everybody had their time. It wasn't a clusterfuck. Dane cannonballs Priest through the barricade after Priest razor edges Dunne off the announce table. I don't know why I say that, Dunne. Pete Dunne. And then Dane hits a double stupid move. That's a senton, if for anybody not versed in Smart Mark Alley terminology. Dane hits an awesome bitter end on Dane. 2 count. You had the 3 on the top rope while Priest goes for a double choke slam. Then Dunne snaps his fingers, sends Priest off the apron, superplexes Dane, hits a bitter end, and Dunne wins the match though with a pinfall after holding on to Dane as he sentons Priest. So we're going to see Dunne versus Cole at Survivor Series. I think that's awesome. And we move on to Finn Balor versus Matt Riddle. This is probably, honestly, my match of the night. Match of the week. Had a nice catch can style at first. Shoot style like catch can in the beginning. had a nice strong style mixed in with it, and it was definitely a more Prince Balor style. It was definitely not the Balor of old that we've come to know. He had that edge to him, that Prince Balor edge, I think. Riddle hits a crazy couple ripcord knees in the ring. Then he hits a nasty spear and a jackhammer, of course, teasing this whole little Goldberg mix-up mishap. I'm hoping that we see a payout for this. Honestly, I'd like to see Riddle versus Goldberg, as weird as it may sound. Especially, you've got a young, fresh guy like Riddle versus an older guy like Goldberg. But you know what? I'm under the impression that Goldberg can have that match. I think that'd be pretty decent. I rely on Matt Riddle to make that match entertaining, though. I will say this right here. But Riddle does win with a 1916 DDT and picks the win up there on a nasty little tear here. Is Finn Balor. I really hope that he ends up back with the NXT Championship. I know, guys, you might not like that, but I'm not into the new era of Tommaso Ciampa. He's a great wrestler, but I don't know. Anyways, then we move on to the men's War Game. This, of course, was Undisputed Era. We know who that is. Versus Tommaso Ciampa, Dominik Dijakovic, Keith Lee, and somebody that did not come out. I'll get to that in a little bit here. It was so cool to see this match. This was a decent match. It started out, you got Ciampa in there and Riddle. And that didn't make no sense. Yeah, it couldn't have been Riddle. It was one of the guys. I forget who the hell it was. It was a long night. Anyway, but the match then becomes Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong versus Ciampa. Oh, okay. It wasn't Riddle. It was Roderick Strong, I do believe. But then it quickly evolves into Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong. Dijakovic enters. He tears things up. Adam Fish then enters, so it's your 2-on-2. Then you got they target Dijakovic. Keith Lee was the next to enter, and then it seems to be everything going on the team Ciampa. Then you got Adam Cole enters. Cole brings in tables. Cole gets put through the tables on the outside, and then you finally get the fourth member of the Team Ciampa, who is Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is the fourth guy. He had his Kevin Owens, old school Kevin Owens t-shirt not on not his Stun Owens Stun shirt, but his old school NXT one. So cool to see Kevin Owens back in NXT. This is what brought me back. It brought me into the whole thing of NXT, which was, Owens and Balor and all those guys. Owens cleans the house. Cole hits like a Panama Sunrise on like the metal partition. Hits Kevin Owens with a Panama Sunrise right on the middle partition after they battle back and forth. I thought that was pretty neat. Then Kevin Owens flogs blasts him through the table. Keith Lee with a spirit bomb through a table. Oh my god, an awesome spirit bomb. But Ciampa sends Cole through the table off the top for the win. Oh my god, you gotta go back and watch this. One of the best Survivor War Games I ever seen in my life. You gotta go back. It was definitely worth watching. War Games was an excellent show. You had, for the pre-show, you had, excuse me, Angel Garza versus Lio Rush. That was a great match as well, with Lio Rush retaining. But I did want to talk to you a little bit about her Survivor Series. We started off with the Women's Survivor Series match. Was Team SmackDown, which was Sasha Banks, Dana Brooke, Nikki Cross, Carmella, and Lacey Evans versus Team Raw, Charlotte Flair, the Kabuki Warriors, Natalya and Sarah Logan versus Team NXT, which was Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Io Shirai, Toni Storm, and Candice LeRae. Toni Storm was added because of the thing with Tegan Nox and Dakota Kai. Io Shirai and Kairi Sane was very cool to see after they both changed their, attitudes going forward there. Belair pins Cross, then Belair pins Sarah Logan. Sasha Banks eliminates Kairi Sane. Asuka eliminates Dana Brooke. Asuka blinds Charlotte and then leaves. Then you got Lacey Evans pinning Flair. Natalya pins Evans. Natalya and Banks eliminate Toni Storm. It was really cool to see Sasha Banks and Natalya eliminate Belair. It was kind of like an old guard versus the new one. Banks pins Natalya. Ripley eliminates Banks. NXT picks up their... Well, they had some pre-show matches, but their first official win of the night, or whatever, their first main card win for NXT of the night. Then we move on to Nakamura versus Roderick Strong versus AJ Styles. You know what? I know I did say Balor versus Riddle, but this right here was my match of the week. I completely had forgotten about this one until I had to go back through my notes. But yeah, this was a spectacular match, a very, very good one. It seemed to favor Strong very early on. You thought that he was going to win, and you got Nakamura with the crazy kicks off the top rope. The match was just crazy back and forth paced. Everyone was equal towards the end. Roderick pins Nakamura after a phenomenal forearm by Strong. Like I said, you guys got to go back and watch that one. I didn't leave too many notes. I don't want to have an hour-long event here, but I did want to inform you guys about what happened and tell you guys if anything was worth going back and watching. I think that was. So we move on here. Pete Dunne versus Adam Cole. Both guys pretty banged up from the night before. Nice little finger manipulation from Dunne early on. Dunne moonsaults to the outside from the second rope. Cole hits a brutal last shot for a 2 count. Dunne was favoring the leg and his knee a lot in this match. Gets a bloody mouth. Then he hits a nasty bitter end. Cole hits a Panama Sunrise on the apron. Oh man. Cole kicks Dunne so hard his mouth guard flies out. Cole counters the bitter end. Cole counters the bitter end into a Panama Sunrise then he hits the last shot to retain the NXT title. I didn't like that. One of these days here, I do want to see that Adam Cole lose that NXT title, but I'm not sure who we're going to see him lose it to. I think it might have to be Balor. Next up, we had Daniel Bryan versus The Fiend. I gotta say, I do not like that every match is bathed in red here with The Fiend. It gives me a headache to try to follow along while the whole match is in red. It's offensive to the eyes. All offense here seemed to be The Fiend. A little bit from Bryan in the beginning, but he was easily snuffed out. The match was regular rules. Fiend matches are usually no disqualification, but this one was definitely not a no disqualification match. Bryan flies to the outside from the top rope, hits a drop kick off the top in the ring. Flying seems to be his friend in this match. Daniel does like 3 yes kick series in a row, and The Fiend eats him up like he was eating up Seth Rollins' curb stomps. Like a monster, but not a monster among men. Bryan utilizes the yes movement in the form of a running knee he had hit Fiend with. Fiend retains though after he puts Bryan to sleep with the mandible claw. And we move on to the men's Survivor Series. We have Team Raw. Excuse me. Yeah, Team Raw, which was Ricochet, Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton. SmackDown, which was Roman Reigns, Mustafa Ali, King Corbin, Braun Strowman, and Chad Gable. I will not call him Shorty G. Absolutely refuse that. And then we had NXT, which was Tommaso Ciampa, Matt Riddle, Keith Lee, and Damian Priest, and Walter. McIntyre eliminates Walter. Chad Gable and Ricochet were very good in this one. Gable and Riddle were very good too. Owens eliminates Gable. Owens shows his NXT favoritism by not attacking some of the NXT guys, it seemed. Ciampa eliminates Kevin Owens, showing that he doesn't care if Kevin Owens was NXT. He don't give no shits about that. Orton pins Priest with the RKO. Riddle rolls up Orton for the win. Orton RKO's Riddle and then leaves, and Corbin eliminates him. Keith Lee versus Braun Strowman was awesome. I'd really like to see these guys one-on-one. Strowman runs through the outside and runs through everybody. He was doing a little Cole Train Gears of War reference, if you don't get that one, outside. Once he gets huge cross bodies from Lee on the outside. Like I said, that's got to be a match coming up here soon. Strowman and Keith Lee. Strowman gets a count out elimination, but at an 8 count. That was weird. Corbin eliminates Ricochet after a reversal off the ropes and hits his end of days. Arguing between Ali and Corbin costs Ali his spot as he gets pinned. Reigns then spears McIntyre for a pin. Corbin pisses off Roman, spears him. Roman spears him, and then Ciampa eliminates him. We had a little bit of a tiny Shield reunion in the form of Seth Rollins and Roman in the ring. They powerbomb Ciampa through the announce table. Lee stomps them. Rollins eliminates Ciampa with help from Roman. Then we got Keith Lee versus the Shield, basically. And Lee eliminates Rollins with a jackhammer. Then we had Lee versus Reigns. This is good. I'd like to see these guys again. Lee hits a super impressive Spirit Bomb and wins with a spear. Reigns, but then wins with a spear, picking up the first win for SmackDown there. So, next up we have Rey Mysterio versus Brock Lesnar. I'll admit, I didn't like this one at all. This was the weakest match on the card, and I usually don't have any problem with Brock Lesnar matches, but let's get this on. Rey comes out with the pipe, gets involved with that from the beginning. Lesnar breaks the tabletop over Rey, completely dominates him. Dominic gets involved in this. They hit a double low blow, and then Lesnar, they hit him with the pipe and the chair. Then they hit a double 619. Of course, Rey and Dominic then hit frog splashes. Lesnar wakes up, knocks out Dominic, and F5's Rey to win. Like I said, weakest match on the card. I don't know what that was. And then, of course, Rey goes and wins the USA title the next night. So that might have been a little bit of a payment for doing a JOB tonight. I wasn't really happy with this one, to be honest with you. I guess they're going to have some more MMA fighters like Cain Velasquez or that boxing jabroni to come on here and fight. I don't know. Come on, man. We had Becky Lynch versus Shayna Baszler versus Bayley to wrap things up here for Survivor Series. I like that more than the internet gave it credit for. Bayley was a lot more offensive than I expected, and she got a lot more offense in. A lot of this was Bayley and Becky favoring Bayley. Bayley hits a double DDT, and then Baszler breaks down on Bayley. The match better, like I said, this is a lot better than the internet gave it credit for, a lot better than even Vince gave it credit for. I really think it was a pretty good match. Baszler wins this one for NXT when she taps out Bayley in the Caracota clutch. Then Becky puts Baszler off the announce table, goes nuts, leg drops her through it after the match. Like I said, all in all, as per usual, the NXT event was better, in my opinion, than Survivor Series. That's the way it usually goes. But they were both worth watching if you can go back through and you want to watch Survivor Series and NXT from Thanksgiving weekend. I thought it was pretty decent. I mean, nothing too wrong. Like I said, I wasn't a big fan of the Rey Mysterio match, but I digest. Hey, everything informed me. Like I said, now I'm going to cover the NXT show back. Little segment that I screenshotted from a results page. I didn't watch it yet. Like I said, I took a little bit of time off. Enjoyed my time with family here, and I haven't gotten around to watching that yet, but it says, success only bred more conflict as NXT went back to fighting after the brand's dominant performance at WWE Survivor Series 2019. The November 27th edition included a huge NXT Tag Team Championships match where Keith Lee and Dominik Dijakovic followed up their victory at War Games by challenging Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, which Kyle O'Reilly did get injured in this one here. He was sent for a loop. You gotta watch on NXT's Facebook or social media accounts their injury report on a weekly basis and follow with that. I usually post that on the Duke's Dive on Facebook. Check me out. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, I'm on all of that. I might start pumping that injury report out on all my forms of social media so you guys can see that. But Tommaso Ciampa also looked to build off his War Games victory by continuing his hunt for NXT Championship. Adam Cole certainly did not want to run into a motivated Sicilian psychopath. Akira Tozawa got one more shot at the WWE Cruiserweight Championship after a triple threat loss on the Survivor Series kickoff, challenging Lio Rush one-on-one. Perhaps no one had more to answer for than Dakota Kai after replacing Mia Yim as a last-minute member of Team Rhea Ripley. The captain of Team Kick assaulted her longtime friend Tegan Knox and walked out on her teammates. This night had potential to be massive, with so much fallout from War Games and from Survivor Series. No one was safe, and everyone had something to say. I guess they opened up with the Tag Team Championship match, Undisputed Era versus Keith Lee and Dominik Dijakovic. Donovan Dijak. I'm not trying to say that name, I fuck it up every time. Tommaso Ciampa, Keith Lee, Donovan Dijak, and Matt Riddle opened the show to celebrate the victory of NXT over Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown. Undisputed Era interrupted everyone to remind everyone that they were the ones who truly won. The conversation quickly turned to the future as Tommy Entertainer reminded Adam Cole he would soon be NXT champion. Finn Balor arrived to stake his own claim and decided he wanted a match later. So we had Tommaso Ciampa, Keith Lee, Dominik Dijakovic, and Matt Riddle open the show to celebrate the victory. After Bobby Fish was forced to go to the back due to medical concerns, Roderick Strong stepped up into his place to compete with Kyle O'Reilly against Lee and Dijakovic. Cole got involved in this match. Limitless One blasted him clear into the second row of the audience. I did see that. That was awesome. Like, wow. Freaking pounced him into the second row. The distraction was enough to let Strong and O'Reilly hit the high-low for 3 on Dijakovic. The result was Strong and O'Reilly defeated Lee and Dijakovic by pinfall to retain the NXT tag team titles. The next match was Shane Thorne versus Mansoor in a physical beatdown of the young star. However, the Saudi Arabian superstar refused to stay down. He caught to Aussie with a slingshot neckbreaker for the win. Next up, we had Dakota Kai versus Candice LeRae. In a backstage interview, Candice LeRae could not celebrate her victories at War Game or Survivor Series as she was still worried about Tegan Knox. She promised to avenge Knox as her big sister by punishing Dakota Kai. With a new entrance and an attitude, the captain of Team Kick came out swinging for the fences, physically dominating LeRae early on. The resilient underdog refused to stay down, fighting back with her own physical offense, and she trapped Kai in the Gargano Express. In the backstage, Kai escaped, but by ducking outside and bashed her with Knox's knee brace, which caused a disqualification. The captain of Team Kick was not done. She threw LeRae into the steel steps and looked to hit her with a steel chair before Rhea Ripley came down to make the save. NXT Cruiserweight match. Champion Lio Rush versus Akira Tozawa. This was a good one. A distracted Lio Rush was not on his game against a motivated Akira Tozawa. The stamina meter looked a step faster than the man of the hour, who barely escaped with his title. Luckily, he found his focus and hit a pair of final hours for the win. Classic 205 Live class with the energy of Full Sail behind them. Tozawa was an underrated performer with plenty of upside. He may be wanted on Monday Night Raws, but he's still integral to the success of the WWE's Cruiserweight division. Rush has been on a roll since returning to NXT, has not had a single bad match, and often felt like it was still not quite hitting his stride. Hopefully the feud with Angel Garza will unlock that full potential. Then we had Xia Li versus Vanessa Bourne. Rhea Ripley refuses to let Shayna Baszler gloat. Xia Li was hardly bothered by Vanessa Bourne as Shayna Baszler headed to the ring with Maria Shafir and Jessamine Duke. Lee hit Bourne with a running tornado kick for 3. The heel swarmed the ring and planted the Chinese star. The NXT Women's Champion gloated over her victory, but Rhea Ripley did not let her talk long. She reminded the Queen of Spades she lost at War Games. Baszler talked a big game, but she backed off once the Aussie laid down the challenge. Then we had Tommaso Ciampa versus Finn Balor. I gotta go back and watch this one. Tommaso Ciampa had the edge on Finn Balor early in this contest. However, the Prince needed just one opening to take over. He sent Tommy Entertainer hard into the barricade, and Ciampa barely avoided the 1916 on the steel ramp. Project Ciampa in an avalanche air raid crash could not end this match. Adam Cole saw the tide turn the wrong way and got involved, making sure Ciampa landed on the NXT Championship. He also hit him with a leaping enziguri before the Prince won with the 1916. The NXT Champion stood with Balor, but the Prince showed that he works alone by planting Cole with a Pele kick. This was a smart end to a night that felt like a reintroduction for NXT. Ciampa and Balor are not direct rivals right now, but they are among the top stars in NXT. Having the two unofficially fight for the number one contender sold the level of competition on this brand. The match was not quite up to the level of the two competitors' best, of course, with both of them being in War Games and Survivor Series. The match was not quite up to but the most comes down to time and spotlight. These will have an incredible match in due time. I guess that wraps everything up here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to pick up and run here before I make this one an hour, 2 hours long, and I'm just going to wish you guys a good time, and I will see you back next week on the Duke's Dive, my friends. I hope you enjoyed. I enjoyed, for the most part, NXT War Games was the better one. I enjoyed, for the most part, Survivor Series. It was a good week of wrestling, and next weekend will be even better as I cover not only NXT, but AEW, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening. Share this out. Subscribe to the podcast. I'm available on all kinds of formats here. I'm available on Apple and Spotify and everywhere else. So, like I said, go and support someone local. So support some talent that are putting out some time here and taking time to make some great content for you. And like I said, I'll enjoy you next time, and you enjoy me next time. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.